Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. This week, we talk about emergency room visits, entertaining your kids in 100-degree weather, and Father's Day plans. We hope you enjoy. Anyway, here we are meeting on a Wednesday night because we've been too busy to meet on a weekend to do this. I know you had texted me a little bit about what you guys have been through in the last week or two, but did you end up going to the emergency room with Ada?
Yes, twice.
Oh, man.
Twice.
I'm sorry.
Went to the doctors a couple of times and then went to the ER. Went to the doctors on Saturday, then last Saturday. Not this past Saturday, but two Saturdays ago. Then went to the doctors again on Monday. Then went to the ER Monday night, and for 9 hours we were there.
Man.
But they, Ada could not breathe, so they had to suction her out.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of mucus.
Stinks.
It was pretty disgusting.
It is.
But while they were doing that, and she was crying like crazy, they did blood work as well. And they were like, well, let's just go ahead and do it while we're here.
Yeah, of course.
And they found out that she had a virus, so that got back, I say relatively quickly, but we were waiting for a couple of hours.
I don't know if they're whenever you're in an emergency room for anyone, regardless of age, time doesn't really exist.
Oh man! So we were frustrated that we waited like 5 hours in the waiting room. Yeah, and like her just crying and screaming, not being able to breathe, not being able to feed her. Like, we had to literally take a straw and then just dabble a few drops of formula in her because we couldn't get food in her. We couldn't get a bottle in her.
I've never had to wait in the emergency room, waiting room. Whenever the one time we had to go, Magnolia had seizures, and whenever they did the intake, she had a seizure on the scale. So they just immediately walked us back to her room. Wow. So that's how you bump the line.
Yeah. My baby's having a stroke.
Yeah, but it's I'm very grateful they did that because, the concept of you've already decided you need to go to the emergency room. So you know things are bad. And then just sit in the emergency room and wait for them to be like, things are pretty bad. Let's get you help.
The funny thing is we were in the fast track.
Oh, man.
They had 3 waiting rooms, and we were in the fast track waiting room. Man. And it was so... God bless Vanderbilt. I appreciate everything they do, but it was a little bit chaotic and unorganized at the time.
Yep.
But they finally suctioned her out to where she could breathe and we could actually feed her.
Yeah.
But they had us wait for a couple of hours after we got done with everything. It was so heart-wrenching with that blood work, and that she would look at you and be like, "Why aren't you helping me?" And Haley was tearing up, I was tearing up, and it was just horrible. But we got through it. She was able to breathe. She was able to feed. We waited for the blood work. Finally, after me going, and just because I was a little testy and a little cranky, I went out to the nurse and was just like, "What do we do? What do we have to do to get out of here? Do I have to sign papers? And you guys can just call me and tell me what the results are."
Are you admitting us, or can we leave soon, please?
Yeah, because
this doesn't get better if we stay here.
Yeah, I was so tired. I was falling asleep with my hands, my head on my hands, and just waking up constantly. So I get cranky when I get tired.
Well, you'd also, by that point in time, had you listened to your daughter cry, hoping she would get the help that she would need for 9 hours or so?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But, and then miraculously, within 10 minutes of me kind of hussing a fit, they were like, "Oh, we got your results back."
Yeah,
look at that. Really?
Yeah, it's always a question did I, it's the fun pendulum swing of do I feel guilty that I did that, or do I feel proud because that's probably where I got what I wanted?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of
both. I felt bad for the nurse, but we found out it was a virus. Couldn't really do anything about it. It was a virus that basically had flu-like symptoms, which is the reason why she wasn't able to breathe and had so much congestion.
None of the congestion was getting into her lungs.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't getting down to her lungs. They checked her lungs, said lungs are fine. It was just all up here to where like babies can't breathe out of their mouths.
Nope.
Like up until a year, after a year. So they breathe through their nose. When they're
Mm-hmm.
congested, they can't breathe that well. Well, she was like, can't breathe at all, really.
And they can't blow their nose either.
Yeah. What was really disgusting is they had like a marble-sized booger that they suctioned out.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I have no idea how it was up there.
Like, how did that fit out of her nose?
I don't know. Like when they were suctioning and she pulled it out.
Yeah.
Like it didn't all come out at once. Like they had to like pull it out of her. It was disgusting. You can ask Kaylee. I'm not joking. I am not joking. The nurse was like, "That is the biggest booger I've ever suctioned out."
Oh my gosh.
Out of a little 19-pound baby.
Yeah. I mean, I've had like from whenever I get like scopes of my nose done and stuff, I've had like the boogers vacuumed out and had that sensation before. I'm a little bit bigger than your daughter.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. But so sorry, this is all about me right now.
No, it's okay.
All about my family.
If we had gone to the emergency room, I would dominate the conversation too. So.
But they were like, well, the rest of the results of the blood work are going to take a little while, so you guys can go home.
That's good.
Get some rest. We'll call you.
Yeah.
If we see anything. So that was Monday. Tuesday came around. I was like a zombie.
Yeah.
We both took off Tuesday.
Because what time did you realistically
We got
get
home at 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then took off Tuesday. I felt like a zombie Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday still felt like a zombie because Tuesday she did sleep better, but she was just like crying out in her sleep and would fall back asleep. But luckily my parents were both in town, so
good.
they helped out tremendously.
Yeah.
Then Wednesday comes along. Whole day I'm working, she's working. I'm actually went up to Naf's house up the street with Spencer and Jonah to help get a piece of equipment that I left over at Naf's house. And I get a random phone call. I'm like, who the heck is this?
Oh, yeah.
And they had called twice, left a message the second time. So as I'm driving back, I listened to that message, and holy crap, it's the ER saying, hey, we got your test results back, fully back. We need you to come back to the hospital.
Yeah.
There was something in it.
Yeah.
In her test results, and I'm like, oh crap. So
yeah.
Haley's on the phone with her dad. When I walk in, I'm like, babe, we gotta go. And she's like, what? Why? And I was like, the doctor called. She was like, Dad, I gotta go. Hung up.
Yeah.
And I played back the message. She called immediately while I was playing the message. We're frantically getting stuff packed and everything like that.
Was Ada at home that day, or was she in daycare?
She was home.
Okay,
like my parents were here, so we took advantage of just having my mom take care of her, and only having to pay half amount for that daycare.
Yeah, right.
We packed her up and went. Luckily, we only had to stay in the waiting room Wednesday for I think about a half an hour or so. Yeah. They immediately
Were they more like observing you whenever you came back than like running tests on her?
No, they immediately said, just go up to the front desk, tell them you had a positive blood culture.
Cool.
So we did, and then they're like, all right, going back into the waiting room, the fast track waiting room.
Yeah.
30 minutes later, they brought us back. The doctor was just like, okay, we're not sure exactly what culture this or what was positive, but we know it was positive, so we needed you to come back. She looks healthy because she was getting a lot better.
Yeah, you sent me some pictures. She looked like a normal baby.
Yeah, she'd been on Augmentin for 5 days, so it was finally kicking in.
Yeah,
and she wasn't at daycare getting another cold.
Yeah, she could actually take a break and recover.
Exactly. The ER doctor was just like, hey, she looks healthy, so we're not exactly sure if what we're seeing is positive or if it was just a contamination in the blood sample.
Yeah.
So we need to run another test and get some more blood from her.
What method did they do to get blood? Did they do like a heel prick, or did they actually do like an IV?
They did an IV both times.
Okay, cool.
in her hand. And she still got the bruises from it too. But the first time, the way that they did the blood sample on Monday was really weird. And I don't think it was the correct way, because it was like a prick through it with a tube, and then she had to take the tube and was like literally holding a vial underneath of it instead of like a closed system. It was open.
So there was room for contamination.
So basically. I think there was room for contamination. I'm not sure.
No. Yeah.
But
I've had blood drawn before.
Yeah.
There's not a gap in between.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And I don't want to get anybody fired for that.
Of course not.
But so the second time it was fully closed, and then they also gave her an IV with a antibiotic in the IV.
Yeah.
So that, like, when she took that, she felt a whole lot better having that IV and getting
Was she
liquid.
Already on an antibiotic, and then they gave her a different antibiotic IV?
Yeah, she was on Augment.
Oh,
we told her that.
Yeah.
And told the doctor that, and the doctor was just like, hey, let's just go ahead and give her this one. I'm going to botch the name out, so I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah.
But, she said it was a much, I guess, more powerful.
Sure.
Would last 24 hours type of deal.
Okay.
So that helped her out a whole lot. But then we had to wait again for those test results to get back. So, again, it was until like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And like preliminary results, the doctor was just like, everything seems to be fine. We're still not sure about the original one.
But if what was found in her original blood test would have been correct, I feel like she would have had like a staph infection, been admitted to the hospital. Like, it would have been a really serious deal. So you can't just be like, preliminaries are good. Get out of here.
Well, she was like, preliminaries are good. She looks healthy. She looks happy. So you guys are good to go home until we find out.
Okay.
So I think it was Friday morning, the doctor finally called with the final results, and he was just like, I'd never heard of this before in my life. I had to Google it.
Oh, okay.
And he was just like, it's usually a staph, and I'm totally botching this. Sorry, Haley. Okay. So correct me. Yeah. Correct me if you're wrong. But totally, like something found in the mouth.
Oh.
Yeah. Usually not found in the blood.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know. Just, you guys have a appointment with infectious disease.
Yeah.
And in a week and a half. We'll send those results to infectious disease, and then infectious disease will do a more in-depth look into her. Yeah. So
who knows?
Yeah. So I think it must have been a contamination for it to be open like that, for this random whatever it is that's normally found in the mouth to show up, and then like for her to be better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man, for those 2 times, the first time her not being able to breathe and eat and drink, scary. She was really like just looked horrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that second time getting that phone call, like kind of panicked.
It the time when we had to take Magnolia in, I feel like there's this wait to the moment in which you realize you actually need to go to the emergency room, where you look at each other and you're like, oh, this is our best option. Yeah. Like, where you're just like, all right, we're going to pack a bag real quick because we don't know how long we'll be there. And let's let the adventure begin. I feel like that's like that moment of reality is like one of my least favorite things about going to the emergency room, is where you realize like, oh, this is our best option, is going to the emergency room. What happens next? I don't actually know. Literally everything's out of my hands the second I walk in there.
It really is. And that was something that, like, for my stress and anxiety, that was something that I was like, okay, I've got to kind of calm down. Mm-hmm. I've got to realize that this is totally out of my control, and I can't do a single thing about it. And I cannot lose control either.
No, you've got to find the pockets in which you can advocate for your daughter and your family without making things worse.
Yep.
And that's really hard to know how to do. I'm awful at it. I'm not going to act like I know how to do it. It's that's one of my least favorite situations to be in.
Yeah. I felt like I did a good job because I did not want to lose control and then Haley have to be feel like she was the only one there. So I was
absolutely.
All right, I got to be there for both. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I did a good job. Haley, correct me if I'm if I wasn't. But.
We're gonna have to add a overdub to the podcast in which I try to get it edited and out 3 days before we post it, and then Haley comes over for an hour and does that. So what he meant to say was
exactly, but no, I was there for her during those times, but then coming back home, man, it was deep, dark.
Yeah.
I was already in depression and having that anxiety and stress, but it got bad during those times of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Then Haley started getting sick. We were we were supposed to go on vacation as well this past weekend.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
But she was like, "Hey, my parents are coming in town because my parents were going we're going on vacation with my family."
Oh, okay.
So, my dad had already left. My mom was still here helping us, so my mom was kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So Haley was just like, "Why don't you and your mom drive down there, go to Chattanooga, meet the rest of your family. My family's coming in town to help me during while you're gone." Mm-hmm. So
you're not abandoning her.
I was not. Yeah. I would never do that. If her family was not coming in town, I would have stayed.
All right. Well, I already booked it, and there's no return policy.
Peace.
So.
But no, she got some rest while her family took over.
That's good.
I got some rest, and I was able to kind of go hiking. We went to Rock City, which was beautiful.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever been.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It was awesome. That was the first time I've ever been. I expect it
to be really touristy and really gimmicky, and then you get to the part where you can look out over everything, and you're like, oh, this is actually the shit.
Yeah. Well, even just the navigating those little tunnels, it was so awesome.
It's really cool.
It was. So doing that, I feel like kind of just bumped up my spirits.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of got my head straight. And since then I've had a little bit more energy and the fog kind of has disappeared.
Yep. I think there's definitely a very real fog with depression or a weight to it, and you're basically just trying to figure out how you can see through it the entire time. So I'm glad there's something that fanned out some of the fog for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it makes a big difference.
It does. It really does. I feel rejuvenated and a totally different person now.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So I think really though, going to the emergency room with a kid that's less than 1 year old is the most I don't really wish it on anyone. Yeah, it's not a very fun experience.
No, it was not. It was not. I don't wish that on anybody at all.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if you're out there, do not have to do it.
Hopefully you don't, because it's when Magnolia had seizures, she was 6 days old.
Oh,
so
man.
yeah, so just think of that fun basically. So yeah, just don't wish it on anyone. There's so much uncertainty. There's so much what does this turn into? How does this look? But then you also fall back on gratitude, because we live in a city and we live within 5 miles of a children's ER.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's insanely lucky to have that. Mm-hmm. But still, whenever you get pregnant and you're like, oh man, what's my first year of being a dad gonna be like?
Yeah.
On that list isn't what's our first emergency room trip gonna be? I'm a kid will fall off a monkey bar and break their arm. That's when we'll go to the emergency room. Not, oh, you can't breathe through your nose. We have to have medical grade suction out of your nose for you to be able to breathe.
Yep.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing, I mean, the first one, I almost feel like if the doctor would have been the doctor had that type of thing, they probably could have done it, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So when we went to the doctor the first time on Monday, they didn't have. Yeah. They were like, you have to go to the ER.
That's
And but I found something.
Oh, did you?
It's called the nose bot.
Okay.
Doctor Knows Best. I looked it up online because I was like, screw having to go to the ER again if we have to do this again.
I don't want to spend $8,000 to suction my kid's nose.
If it works, great.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then we'll take her back to the ER.
Yeah.
But he said it's almost medical grade. Okay. Obviously, it's not.
Yeah,
but
of course.
like, so I got that. I'll have to show it to you.
Yeah, you should.
But for anybody out there, check it out. Doctor Knows Best, Nosebot, I think is what it's called.
I guess that would be your low since the last time we hung out.
Yeah. Low and the high of just being able to go on vacation or pseudo vacation.
Sure, get out of town for a bit, clear your head.
And clear my head. Yeah. That was my high. What about you, man?
Oh, man, let's see. So far, 3 kids at home. Me versus all 3 kids, going pretty well.
Yeah?
We're going on adventures. I wish it wasn't so dang hot out this week, honestly, because like most of my adventures with them is something outside. And like the other day, Magnolia's in a booster seat now. So like at 9 a.m. we went to Walmart, got our booster seat, got back in the car, and I switched it out. And I think I was drenched in sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Like already by like 9:15, I'm like, is it like literally 100 degrees outside already?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how to do like water days and like going to the Science Center more, or like Tennessee State Museum, because those are all indoors and air conditioned. But like, yesterday we were going to go to the zoo like right at 9 a.m. And I like looked at it and I was like, it's already 92 degrees outside in direct sunlight. No, I'm not doing that. So I wish it wasn't so hot out. Today we did Disney in the past year released Turning Red, which is like a bunch of teenage girls in boy concerts. And the girls are obsessed with it. So we did a Turning Red day in which they wore like, we bought them Turning Red pajamas and let them watch Turning Red during the day. We don't usually like do TV during the day.
Gotcha,
so we're like, all right, you guys can have a PJ movie day and we'll buy you pajamas that line up with the movie you're going to watch that you are obsessed with and you won't even remember came out in like 2 months from now. We did that today because it is 90, like I think the high was 97?
Yeah.
Something like that. Feels like 103, like, you
beautiful.
know.
It was wonderful.
It's like, it stinks because it's pretty outside, but you step outside and you're like, who opened the oven?
Yeah. For me, I love it.
Do you?
I feel like I'm always cold.
Yeah.
Inside the house, even right now, I'm cold.
Oh, seriously?
I will usually put on a jacket.
Man.
Especially in the morning time. Even this morning and yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I woke up and had to put a jacket on, and I wore the jacket all the way to work.
Nope.
I wear it inside our office because I'm always cold. I love the heat.
Yeah, opposite. Just complete opposite. I'm not. I used to like the cold a lot more when now that I've not lived in the Midwest for so long. Like it used to be like if it was like our house would always be set at like 70 or 72. And now it's like 75. So like as I've gotten used to living in the South, I've like been like, this is a little too cold, a little bit more. Whereas, living in the Midwest, I'm just like, oh, it's snowing. I can wear shorts. This will be fine. Gosh. You know, one of those monsters. I guess the is I don't know if I guess Ada's sleep has been all over the place because of your emergency room visits.
Yeah.
But Josh will be like, one day he'll wake up at 5 a.m. Next day, 7 a.m. Next day, 5:30 a.m. Next day, 6:30 a.m. So I feel like my sleep has been just really weird, or like, I don't know how to predict it, basically. And then then it's so hot out. I hopefully am like still being nice to the kids because I'm like, I thought like the other day he woke up at 5 and I was like, I want Heather to sleep. She works. And I'm at home with the kids.
Is that a normal thing for, or like, was that a normal thing for? What now?
I feel like there's always like sleep regressions with your kids where they like reach a certain, like they reach an age and then they're like, their brain is just firing off too much and they just like will sleep badly for like a week or two.
Yeah.
So.
Because that's kind of how Ada has been for a couple of months now. Like, sometimes it's 5, sometimes 5:30.
Yep.
Rarely does she get to 7.
Every once in a while, I never expect him to get to 7. I expect him to wake up at 6. And I don't know if we've discussed this before, but it's odd to me that a kid waking up before 6, I'm like, no, shut it down, go back to sleep. But if they wake up at 6, I'm like, that's fine, I'll be awake. But like for some reason, anytime before 6, I'm like, no, everyone has to go back to sleep. Please don't be awake.
I feel bad because Haley is a night owl.
Yeah, I'm a night person. Like whenever the sun goes down, I'm like, cool, what are we doing?
Yeah. When the sun goes down for me, I'm dead asleep, usually, or wanting to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But Haley is the exact opposite, and she likes her sleep in the morning time. I don't mind waking up. I mean, I wake up at 5:30 every morning, because I have to be at work at 7, or I try to get there a little earlier than that. But I feel bad when I'm about to leave and
and you know she's just waking up.
Like,
man.
God, I'm sorry, babe.
Nope,
but I gotta go.
I'm the type of person where, like this last Saturday, Josh woke up at 5, and so I got up with him so Heather could sleep. And then that night I went to a Nashville SC game, so I was there from like 7 until 9. Went out afterwards, got a drink with a friend, was there until 10, and went to another friend's house afterwards, and then left their house at midnight, and it was fine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but like the second the sun went down, I was like wide awake. But like probably between 3 and 5 or 3 and 6, I was just like, not enough coffee. But then the sun sets and I'm like, what up?
That's crazy.
So yeah, so when I wish I would go to bed before like 10, because I know my kid's gonna wake up at like 6 or 7 or something, or like 5 potentially. But whenever it's like 10:30, I'm like, I just don't want to go to bed.
So what time do you usually go to bed?
Between 11 and midnight usually.
So you get roughly 5 hours of sleep if
yes,
he wakes up at 5.
And usually I feel like I get 6.5 or 7.
And you're good with that?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if I've never, even whenever I was a teenager, I didn't sleep like 8 hours or like 9.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Yeah, I rarely did either. I was always a morning person, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was always, whenever I'd sleep over at a friend's house, first person to fall asleep.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Josh has been super mucusy, so I'm like, are you teething? So his sleep's just been inconsistent, where like someday, like today he took 3 naps, and it was like an hour and a half, and then like an almost 2-hour nap. And like, I'm like, oh, that's a ton of sleep. I think you're fighting something. I don't actually know. And then, but the day before it was like 30-minute nap, hour nap, 20-minute nap. Oh, and I'm like, I don't need you to be consistent, but I feel like I'll be better if you are. And I mean, I'm trying to put him down around like the same times, or like around like 2 hours or 2.5 hours of being awake. I'm like, cool, you're probably about to go to sleep. But like if he starts the day at 5, that means by like 7:30, I'm putting him down for his first nap. Whereas like if he wakes up at like 7, I'm putting him down to his first nap at 9:30. It's just a drastically different day. And I've still got a 4 and a 6-year-old that I'm trying to like figuring out what to do, or hoping that like the stuff I've said, hey, let's do this today, they actually like and don't do it in like 5 minutes.
I don't know how you do it, man.
Yeah, me either. They get along really well together, honestly.
That is good.
Or this week they get along really well together. So that helps out a ton. Yeah. Like today I feel like I had to like hold Josh the entire day. And like they played together well, while I basically couldn't give either of them much attention. Yeah. So it's not ideal. Yeah. But whenever he naps, then it's like, cool, now I can actually feel like I'm being a dad to you guys. What do you want? Oh, cool, you already lost in play and you don't want me around? All right.
Hey, man. That's beautiful, though, that they get along.
And that's still not to say there aren't like skirmishes that I have to step in and be like, hey, you can't push someone out of the way to be first. If you do, what's funny is in those situations, most of their fights are over who got to get something first. And most of the solutions is me saying, how about I go first? And then they both go, no. We'll figure it out. How much of parenting conflict resolution is like, how about I get involved? And they're like, no. Yeah. It's not that bad yet. We'll figure something out.
Compromise.
It's like, you're involved now? Okay, no. I love her. She's my best friend. How do you leave? That's basically the compromise we want.
Interesting.
It's pretty funny.
Well, going back to things inside on a hot day in Nashville, you said something about the Discovery Science Center. Do you have a membership to that?
We do. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may have asked you that before. I didn't know if they had memberships or something. But
yeah, they do.
Cool. Okay.
For Ada, I mean, they have like a little kids section or like a 5 and younger section, but like I feel like until the kids were like 3 or 4, it didn't like. It was more for me to be out with a kid in air conditioning because I needed to get out of the house more than like the kid was able to fully enjoy it.
More so for Holly and Magnolia, but like gotta wait for Josh's age. But totally
Josh, I can kind of like they have like like the big like the big ball where you put your hands in it and it's like the static like goes towards your fingers and stuff like that. They have like a huge one of those. Okay. So like I can hold Josh and he can put his hands on that and smile and giggle at it. And like in the less than 5 area, I can like put him on the ground and he can crawl around and like blow up on stuff. But like as far as the actual like science stuff, like when we're walking around the planet area that has like what all the planets are and facts about them, I don't think he's getting much from that.
No, you don't think he's understanding any of it?
Hey man, this is the sun. We all revolve around it. Don't look at it.
He's probably like, no, you guys revolve around me.
Yeah, exactly.
I
am the sun. So,
well, cool. And then also,
yeah,
Tennessee
State Museum. Yeah,
I've never been there.
Bicentennial Mall. It opened up during the pandemic. It's like just the history of the state of Tennessee.
Is it right by the farmers market too?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
It like shares a parking lot with it.
Gotcha.
It's like at the north end of it. Do you know where the KFC is over there?
Yeah, no, I go there all the time.
Cool.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've never been inside. I've been walked around it, but
they have a kids section on the first floor where they have like coloring sheets and like magnet tiles and blocks and stuff like that. And then up above it is just like the history of the state of Tennessee from like prehistoric time until nowadays.
Huh.
So they have like it's all of like a bunch of Civil War stuff also. So they have like all the dresses from like that era. And the girls are like, this is a pretty dress. I want to go see the dresses. So
that's cute.
You know, that's fine. I don't read the history to them because I'm like, you guys don't really care.
Yeah.
But it's intriguing. It's cool.
But they get to see different things. And
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They have familiarity with it. So.
Yeah. On a hot, sunny day.
Yes.
That's probably a good idea.
It is. The ideal is to, at Bicentennial Mall, they have a splash pad also.
Yes.
So to go there, do the splash pad, change clothes in the farmer's market, eat lunch, and then go to the Tennessee State Museum and then go home is like the ideal, like, with Josh is still too young where I'm like, oh, maybe he'll nap in a stroller, maybe he won't. So if like there's a day in which like it's a Saturday and I'm like getting the girls out of Heather's hair or something like that and she wants to be home with Josh, that's like the type of day I would probably do.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Cool.
There's always something fun.
Yeah. I'm sure there are other people out there like, oh, what do? We don't want to go outside.
Yeah,
so,
it's really hard because there's like like if I already feel deflated, like whenever I step outside to like let the dog outside at 8 in the morning, then I'm like, oh man, this isn't going to get colder during the day. Or I think like next week it's going to be like the highs in the hundreds, if I'm not mistaken.
Another week of this?
Yeah. So yeah, whenever you look at that though, and you're like, Tuesday it's 102, Wednesday is 104. So next week the high will be 104 as of right now. But yeah, when you look at that and you're like, cool, I've got to figure out what to do with kids until they go to sleep, and it's not below 90 degrees until 10 p.m. Like, it's not ideal.
I love it.
How hydrated do you stay?
Not very.
Oh man, you got to work on that for multiple reasons.
Yeah, I do. But, well, cool.
Yeah.
What else you got going on? I know Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing to discuss. Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
I have a season ticket, and I have my friend has a season ticket, and he's not going to make it to the game this Sunday. So Justin's going to go with me to his. Is it your first ever Nashville SC game?
Yeah.
Sweet.
My first ever, like, actual soccer game other than going to my high school soccer games. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I never really was that much into soccer. My friends played soccer in high school.
Yeah.
But never went to one in college.
Yeah.
Never really was into it until I started watching Ted Lasso.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so me and Haley were like, hey, we'd go, and the stadium is literally like 5 minutes away from us. So
pretty much. But yeah, it's your first ever Father's Day. Do you have, besides bailing on your daughter and wife to go to a soccer game?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Haley, when you texted me that, I was like, babe, you think I could go to a soccer game with Devin
on Father's Day?
On Father's Day, and she was like, yeah. I was like, yes.
Yay.
I was like, you didn't have anything planned, did you? She was like, no, not really.
Yeah.
She was like, I got you something, and we can do like lunch during the day.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll end up doing. She didn't tell me what she's getting me or where we're gonna go to lunch.
Cool. But yeah, that's about all I got for the most part.
Awesome.
I think your kid's asleep.
She is probably. I think Haley finally got her asleep.
Nice. I think my wife is texting me pictures of the kids dancing. So my kids are not asleep. So
Awesome.
They aren't crying, but I'm going to go home and help them out.
Yeah.
Sweet.
See ya.
Bye. We really hope you enjoyed that episode. Please make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Nashville Dads. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.